And we're back.
Boom.
Wow. 2 weeks in the books. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy horny.
Just like I can't even keep up with the games. Like at the end of the 1 o'clock games, it's fucking chaos.
Dude,
Chaos.
yeah. I mean, with what happened between the Miami-Baltimore game and then the fucking Browns game, the Browns-Jets, right? I mean, and then that, the Giants and the Panthers were stumbling towards the finish line for like what it felt like a half hour. That game was, it was wild. It was a wild week, another wild week in fantasy. The doubleheader Monday nighter was, a lot happened. A lot happened on Monday, so,
I mean, it was solid, but I don't know why they weren't spaced out further.
Agree. Like
I honestly didn't know the Bills were on at 7:15 until like 20 minutes before.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be the later game.
Yeah, for those of us blessed with 2 TV setups, not as big of a deal as you might think, but like it's still like why do you have like the 7:15 game I love, but like why don't you have like a West Coast team play like a 9:30? I guess 9:30 is getting way too late though. Like you got to have like a 6 o'clock and like a 9 o'clock, and they'll cross over a little bit. But like, but in essence, it didn't matter because both games were complete shit pumping and over by halftime. So it actually kind of worked when you were like, oh, okay, well, the Bills are just going to fucking roll the Titans. Let's go see what the Eagles do. And then the Eagles climb aboard the fucking Vikings and hump them into submission. And then you just played Call of Duty for a couple hours and went to bed. Pretty solid night, honestly. Although Joe Yee and I sat there till the bitter end because there were 5 teams battling for the money. And where did those 5 teams finish? They all finished within like 2.5 points of each other or something. It was nuts. So anyway, let's get into it, right?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to share my screen here.
Yeah. Let's just real quick before we go. Wild week, I think, highlighted by the awful picks of the weekly games by myself and Derek. I was the big winner this week. What? I went 2-4. So that's not great.
Really bad.
Derek went 1-5. So our year to date, I'm still there at 500. So there's almost respectability there. Derek's 4-8. So this week I'm going to pick all the games first so that you can go contrarian if and when you need to. All right, because I'm a man of honor and I'm here to help you get back.
Yeah. I may actually have to start picking these games. I didn't know it was going to be a competition.
Well, I mean, what's the point of doing it if you're not going to keep score?
All right, I like it.
All right, fuck it. You want to do rankings? I mean, like, look, a lot of close games out there. I don't know if we need to laboriously go through each one.
Yeah.
But your game with Dave Free was kind of the highlight game where you needed, I think at one point you needed, basically the whole second half, you needed 2.2 points out of Justin Jefferson, 2.2 more points. And, yeah, that didn't happen.
Nope.
He needed one 17-yard catch for you to win.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it wasn't going to happen. That's why I didn't hang out and watch it. Like, it's too painful. Well, it wasn't that I didn't want to hang out.
And then Joe Yee and I were watching everything happen, and then I slide into the money spot, to the third spot, and then Hurts throws that interception, which puts me all the way out of the money. And then Bobby G starts climbing up as TJ Edwards starts racking up tackles in garbage time. And it got fucking nuts. So.
All right.
But yeah, so let's talk rankings. You want to talk about how this week's rankings work out there? If you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Who goes first? You go first.
I think I'm going first this week. So why don't you zoom in on my rankings here so the boys can get all jacked up. There we go. Okay. I love it. All right. So Big Cat, your choice. Do I go bottom? I'm going to go top to bottom. I think it gets a little more interesting as you get closer to the bottom, Glenn. All right. So Tony, holding on to the number 1 ranking, if Derek can get things settled here, giving me motion sickness.
All right, I was trying to zoom in.
Yeah, so Tony obviously, top top score first week, second highest score the second week. Great team. He's just got it going on, man. I mean, that team is just rolling, which isn't a surprise. I mean, it's a good team, I think, as things are kind of shaking out this year. You're seeing that Tony's team is well balanced, and he's getting these big blowout performances from somebody each week, and when you're rolling a Cooper Kupp out there and Nick Chubb, not a whole lot can go wrong, at least at this point of the season. So nice job. I moved Dave Free up from 5 to 2. Tua helped. Guy goes 469 and 6 touchdowns. It's going to help you win. So nice job. The one thing that I'll say, and I kind of, again, with these rankings, I kind of adopt the college football type of thing. So, towards the bottom, it gets a little more nuanced, but up top here, it's the 2-0 teams, and I rank those 2-0 teams. I take the 1-1 teams that I think are pretty good, and I rank them, and then everybody else. So, Dave was ahead of Butthole Surfers last week, so he stays there. He is a little bit of middle of the road in total points, so there's a question of sustainability there. But hey, 2-0 is 2-0, and he's 2-0 in his division too. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Pretty good. 3 is Bobby G in the Butthole Surfers. He went from 6 to 3. So he went from 12 to 6 to 3 in 3 weeks. Pretty good. He's right up there. He's 5th in scoring. So 2 good weeks. So yeah, he's putting it together real nice. As far as the 1-1 teams that I see as contenders, Midnight Poutine drops from 2 to 4. Heartbreaking loss, heartbreaker there. But he's still the number 2 scoring team. Not a big concern here for the Poutine boys. I still feel confident. Panda Man got buzzsawed this week. Who'd he run into? He ran into Andrew, didn't he?
Yeah.
He ran it into the Bearded Clams. So, but Joe Yee had a good solid week of scoring 175 points. So he's the number 4 scoring team. So like Panda at 5, number 6. I'm sliding down the rankings here. So from 4 down to 6 this week. I improved from week 1. But I caught another suspension, so now I have 2 suspended guys on my team, both wide receivers. Excuse me. I won. No, I lost. I got Tony, but I put out a decent amount of points. So, again, as long as Hurts keeps on being Jalen Hurts, I think I'm going to be dangerous enough. But what can you do? Andrew went from 9 to 7, gets his record back to 1-1, top score in week 2. Huge to knock out Panda on an interdivisional game there to kind of keep things balanced. So nice win there for the Bearded Clam. And then you're kind of into the interesting guys here. So Big Poppy, who started off the season pretty highly ranked in my polls, and now he's fallen all the way to 8. I don't think there's anything else you need to say except for my comment. I'm not as jazzed about this roster as I was 3 weeks ago. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And, it's only 2 weeks in. But Floppy D, he shit the bed in week 2. He was a high-scoring team in week 1, so flush week 2. It's kind of like the Steelers, Bobby, right? So just take week 2, flush it down the toilet. But, he's coming up against me this week, which – while not like Tony or, you or one of the top teams, like I'm not an easy out. And if he goes 0-3, he'll also be 0-3 in the division. So kind of a big week for Bob. He's got to get over the hump with me being that hump. So derelict my balls. Yikes. A win, right? A win. I think we had a win. Is Mike the one that won with almost no points?
Yes.
116 point winner. So in an ultimate stroke of luck, the 3rd lowest scoring team managed to win his game. So pretty sweet. Nice job, Mikey. That Pittman injury was huge. Pittman's a huge part of what Mike's putting out there. So he had to roll the old Paris Campbell dice, which let's see, that was a 0-point effort. So nice. So, I think here, flip back to the rankings real quick. The one thing with Mike's team is that Najee Harris and Austin Eckler have been they've been pedestrian, not horrific, but just they haven't really done anything special. So, Pittman comes back, you get a couple of solid games out of Najee and Eckler, and all of a sudden I think Mike's team looks a lot different. So I'm not, we're not in the write-off stage yet. Same with Mike Regan, the Chuggers, 1-1. Those Kamara injury and Godwin injuries have him just trying to tread water and figure out what to do until they come back. I guess Kamara had a limited practice today, so we'll see. Godwin is going to be at least a couple more weeks, so Mike's got some work to do. And then then there's Glenn, and yeah, sorry, but at least Darrell and Chuggers have injuries to blame. Glenn's team just is like trash so far. And bottom line is he scored 220.63 points so far this season, and Tony had 231.4 points in week 1. I don't know what you want me to do. It's 2 of the worst weeks I think we've ever seen to start a season. So they're not good. Glenn's team is really not good. I've never seen a team this not good at this point of the season. And I don't know what he does to fix it. I'm going to stop talking. So
all
that's
right.
it. So, I think that we got, I think 1 through 7 are all like contenders for the playoffs. I think 8 through 11, we'll see. It's important next 2 or 3 weeks. Glenn, I don't know what's going to happen. He's just going to have a few guys flip around and just go from zero to hero. And, he's got the guy that got shot from Washington on his IR. So, who knows, maybe he comes back. But like when you're counting on a dude with 2 bullet holes in his leg, like it's not great.
All right. Watching the limp.
Big Cat, hit me.
All right. Well, you did such a great team by team breakdown. I feel like I can go through my list pretty quick because again, we adopted this. I adopted this ranking system a while ago because back when we were doing this regularly, everyone complained. So I tried to put some math to it. I did make some changes this week. I basically counted my future rankings double. So it changes, the rankings over here slightly. Efficiency has always been 50%. Because good efficiency could mean one of 2 things, really. You're doing a great job, or you have no one on your bench. So I think it's pretty interesting to look at this point of the season. And that's kind of how I did my rankings here. I'll always have who I think is going to win the division. I think Panda's team is pretty strong. I have him up pretty high. But I think his division is the softest, so that's why I have him up there. I obviously lost this week, so even though I have myself higher here, he's got the stranglehold on the division for a while. And I'm not always going to have, the playoff teams. I think Bobby D's team is actually pretty good. The football guys rankings, which like add up all the points, so it's a pretty scientific system. Now you can talk about the ratings, but his team is solid looking forward. He's had a rough start, but you have to remember all these years that we've done this. I can think of 4 or 5 teams off the top of my head that got off to blazing hot starts and then just completely shit the bed. It's one injury flipping and it's a totally different ball game. And you got guys like Andrew this week, who I think we both had, in the bottom 3 to start the season, just completely blow up this week out of nowhere. So these are averaged here. I got myself and Floppy D kind of firmly. I'm kind of thinking, who's going to make the playoffs. So in the future, I think really everyone is in it, quite literally. Except for probably Glenn. Like you said, he's really, his only options are for his players to start scoring a lot more points. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, some of them could. Others I don't think have a chance. But anything can happen. You're only a couple injuries away and some, games breaking right to getting back in it. The things that I noticed, kind of the middle of the road teams here have high efficiency. So they didn't really have many roster decisions. I went through and looked at this pretty quick. And we are low, myself and Dave Free here, with a lot of points on the bench. I think Dave left a shit ton of points on the bench in week 1. So, that's interesting. As I kind of look at the first 3 weeks as you're just trying to, feel out your lineup, kind of your standard lineup, who are your key backups, and kind of work from there. So, everyone's in it at this point. But I feel Tony blows me a fair amount of shit every week. I'm like, hey man, Tony, your team is great. It really is. It's one of the best I've ever seen, probably.
Through 2 weeks.
Through
right?
2 weeks.
We're not giving out fucking trophies yet.
Yeah,
but exactly. Yeah, I mean, Tony's team is fucking sick right now. But also, not to pile on, but like the efficiency, I feel like can be deceiving sometimes too, right? Because Dave Free's efficiency this week was very low at 81%, but that's because he left Tua's 50 points.
Right.
He had Tua on the bench at 50 points, and he started Aaron Rodgers. Now on Saturday, I don't think that's unreasonable to start Rodgers over Tua against the Ravens, right?
No, absolutely not.
So, the real question is, what does Dave do this week, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's got fucking Aaron Rodgers against the Bucs, and he's got Tua against the Bills. Good luck to you, sir.
As a Bills fan, I'm honestly worried about that game.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. You were worried about last week. They won by fucking 35.
Yeah, that is true.
Malik Willis got third quarter snaps in that game, dude. What the fuck?
Yep.
I'm worried.
Guilty as charged.
You know what? You're just all self-deprecating, and then at some point you're going to get the fucking bug, and you're going to be like, the Bills are going to roll this team. It's going to be like a Jets game in October. The Jets are going to beat them.
I had the feeling week 1. I just didn't have it last week, and they fucking crushed it.
Yeah. The interesting thing there, I think, to find out just real quick, talking about the Bills though, is going to be, was Monday night more of a statement about who the Bills are or who the Titans are not? Because I think it's a little bit of both. Like, the Bills are crazy good. Don't get me wrong. By far the best team in the league. But the Titans, I think, are not.
The Titans are on their way to a rebuild. Yep.
Yeah. They're rebuilding. They just haven't said it yet.
Yep.
They haven't sold Derrick Henry off, which is a good idea to do, as I can attest.
Yeah, this is basically the, hey, we have all these contracts, so we can't really dump, so we're going to have to throw this mess out there. And if it blows up, it blows up.
Yeah.
That's where they're at.
All right.
So picking some games.
Are these the fucking games right here?
Yep.
Boom. All right. Let's see. What's our first game? Let me go back to my old email here. Let's see. Floppy D versus me. Oh. All right. Well, let's see. Now, neither Bobby or I have found the time in our days to fucking put a lineup in, so that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, I figure we can just kind of go through both of these at the same time. I don't know if I assigned them or not. Oh, this is you. Well, give me your thoughts.
Yep. This is kind of surprising. Let me take a quick look at this. So I think, he's got 2 guys questionable. They're both hurt. He's got Pitts, who is basically the subject of the internet. He's got Kittle coming back. I don't know. I'm going to give this one to Floppy D, just because I know you're going to pick yourself. Things kind of balance out, and Floppy D is probably due for one. I would say this. I do not agree with this, though. I think it's going to be very close.
If you refresh it, I just popped in a starting lineup. So you can see why I'm going to pick myself. Because, I think Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders are going to be on the fuck you tour to Carson Wentz. And that comes this week. Yeah, I just think I think also Bobby. I can't remember exactly who his key players are. Yeah, so he's got Javonte Williams going up against the Niners defense, right? Herbert. I mean, if Herbert doesn't play for some reason, then he has to start Derek Carr against the Titans. I don't know if that's a bad start or not. Oh, and he might. Jerry Jeudy didn't practice today, so if like if Herbert is limited, Judy's not going to play, and you got your number one running back facing up against the Niners. I don't know. That's why I'm picking me. I just think Bobby has a little tougher matchups. So I'll probably lose. Bobby will probably score 250.
That's exactly the logic behind my pick.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
All right. Next up is. I switched off of it. Bearded Clam versus Big Poppy.
Yeah, this one's probably
this
you.
One is going the way of the Bearded Clam for obvious reasons, because Andrew's team is better. Yeah, I don't know what else you want me to say except for I just think Andrew. I think I don't love the Wentz start, but anytime you're rolling Stephon Diggs and Jalen Waddle out there, I mean, you're just gonna have to. Andrew's gonna have to lose one before I start picking against him at this point, I think there's an argument to be made for Poppy, because if Jamar Chase can't get it going against the fucking Jets, I mean, we'll talk about this, in the future with other Bengals, but like, boy, if he can't get a game going here, that's not great. But look, it's 2022. If you're starting Julio Jones, not great. Not great, Bob. So anyway, I'm going Bearded Clam here.
Yep, I agree with you. I'm going Clam.
Good job. Okay. All right, so we're different on one, same on one. Next game. Oh, it's the Midnight Poutine versus Derelict My Balls. I assume that we will. I guess we're supposed to go Libtard here. Libtard versus Turd Ferguson. Yeah, Libtard versus Turd Ferguson. And I feel like this one doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out. At least it's interesting though, because like the site still likes Glenn's team.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent total.
Yeah, but look at all that Derrick Henry yardage. Is that going to happen? If it does, then obviously Glenn's going to do very well. But like, the big guy has been bottled up the last couple of weeks. And the Bills are no joke. The Bills are a legitimate defense, so I'll give Derrick Henry a pass on last week. Plus, they were getting their asses blown out, so that's a negative game script for him. But if Henry can't get something going against the Raiders, then it might be a fucking problem. Anyway, I'm
taking Turd Ferguson. This is one of the worst projections I've ever seen from this site.
Yeah. Well, really the site's notoriously fucking stupid.
Like really bad.
Yeah. Doesn't Indy plays KC, right? KC really hasn't done a great job at stopping too many people running the football. Yeah. I'm with you on Turd Ferguson. So sorry, Glenn.
All right, am I next?
Maybe next time. Yeah, Poutine and Derelict.
Yeah, I was gonna. Oh.
Are you doing a live?
Yeah, I was gonna set my lineup, and then I was like, we'll just keep doing it live.
Give us a fucking live lineup. So you got Josh Allen facing Miami.
I would do anything for him.
Yeah. Connor's hurt. So we're going Mixon. Mixon against the Jets is a nice juicy lineup. I love it. He's trying to chase those Tony Pollard points from last week. Jefferson, obviously. Moore, obviously. Samuel and Amon-Ra. Garrett Wilson gets in the starting lineup. I love it. And then that defense, rock solid. Love it all. Kind of surprised you didn't play your boy Poyer. That cost you.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, like it's my fault that this completely my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Idiotic, not starting him. I have no idea who this guy is. I'll be completely honest with you. No idea. My website told me to take him, and he scored a bunch of points in the first week. So I was like, oh my god, this guy's going to be awesome. And Poyer, I think, was rated 4 in defensive backs on my side, and I didn't play him anyway.
Yeah, Poyer's that was tough. That cost you the game there too. Couple decisions, but what can you do?
I mean, Jefferson has to score more points than that, but it was my fault. It was a bad start.
Yeah. Fantasy previews here. Does Mike have a lineup in or not? Derelict, yeah. So Tom Brady, yikes. Eckler. See, like Mike's team should be good if you look at that, dude.
Yeah,
Eckler,
really
Najee Harris, Devontae Adams, Brandon Cooks, Michael Pittman. Like those are all like quality starts. Now Hawkinson has been pretty dry so far, and Brady has obviously not been what you would expect out of him. Who do the Fighting Tom Brady's play this week anyway? Oh, they play Green Bay. Green Bay. Let's see. Kirk Cousins tore them up. So, but Brady has no wide receivers. Surprise.
It's a problem.
So that's a big problem. So, yeah, I'm on you, buddy. I'm with you here. I think anybody that rolls out. I think Josh Allen obviously is a cheat code, and Mixon and Jefferson should have good weeks. Amon-Ra's been awesome. I mean, that dude's a monster. So, yeah, I'm going Midnight Poutine here. I got you, Big Cat. Where are you going?
Yeah, same.
Look at us. So you're not differentiating here. Okay, so we have our JV game of the week, I think, next up. That is your game to break down. It's Grow Up versus Chuggers. Now, the reason I made this the JV game of the week is Tony, should he win this week, which I believe he should be well favored to do so, will go to 3-0 and will be 3-0 in the division, which I didn't realize, and I don't dislike that this league has all 3 division games to start the season. So it's an interesting kind of twist on how the schedule was built this year randomly by the site. But yeah, so Grow Up at the Chuggers. Talk to me, big guy.
Chuggers is another team that should be better than it is. But I don't know how I can pick against Tony. Like that lineup is crazy. Even with, DJ Chark is a bad start. But everyone else is really good. So, yeah, I'm going to take Tony.
Yeah,
I will say about Tony's team, I think the Minkah Fitzpatrick start, I don't think that's going to last fantasy-wise.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be a contributor. I mean, I think he's going to be a guy that he can start. He's not going to be scoring, 20 points a week. But, yeah, I think the DJ Chark, I think he can find another start in there, whether that's he doesn't have Olave in right now, right? So he could find an Olave start. He could find another start from somebody maybe somewhere in there, especially if James Conner doesn't go. He has Benjamin, so he could plug him in too. So, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you in that you can't pick against Tony until he shows you that you shouldn't, and he has shown me no reason to think that I should bet against him. So our game of the week this week is the Butthole Surfers versus Joey Wonton's Panda Man. I picked this by my rankings. It's the only top 5. It's the number 3 Butthole Surfers 2-0 versus the number 5 Panda Man, who's 1-1. 2 good scoring teams here. And this is obviously for the top of their division right there. Looking at Joe's team, I personally have this one going the way of Panda in a little bit of an upset as per my rankings, but I just think Joe's team is actually pretty good, and I think they're set up pretty well this week to make a run at Bobby. Lamar is good. Dalvin Cook, who's been not really doing a whole lot, gets the Lions, who he usually tears up. And, if Zeke can't figure it out if the Zeke and the Cowboys can't figure out a rushing game against the Giants, then they're just a passing only team at this point, But yeah, I have it going towards Joe Yee. I just think that's my gut. It's my gut. My gut says Joe Yee. That's it. No real good analysis there. It's just my gut, says Joey.
Well, I'm sorry, Joey Wonton, but I'm going to take Butthole Surfers because I have to take the opposite of Dave to get back into the standings.
Okay.
So there you go.
So just a contrarian pick there. So one of us is going to be right. Yeah. It's an interesting thing. I guess the site thinks it should be pretty close too, which kind of it is in agreement with us. I mean, if you look at their average points scored, I think they are less than 1 point apart. I think Bobby G is averaging 169.4. Joe's averaging 170.8. So it's a 1.4 point advantage towards Joe. So should be another close week. I think there's not any teams. Well, all the 2-0 teams can take a stranglehold on their divisions with a win, right? And 3-0 in the division is going to be big. So those teams that are facing the top teams in their division are also have huge games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they'll go to 1-2. Conceivably, there's going to be a 2-1 team. So I think for the division, it's going to be very interesting to see how this all shakes out. Because you'll have at least one division with a 3-0 team, probably mine. I think Tony will be able to take care of business against Regan. So if I don't beat Bobby, then Tony is going to be 3-0 in the division, and he's going to have 3 1-2 teams behind him. That means that one of us is going to have to go a reverse sweep later in the season in order to capture the division.
Yep.
Probably not going to happen. So almost like Tony can almost grab the playoffs this weekend in a lot of ways. So, but it's like that in every division, right? Because every 2-0 team is playing a 1-1 team, except for I think maybe one. No, we don't have a 2-0. Oh, we do. We have Turd Ferguson and the Libtard. So I guess your division's fucked. Dave Free, playoff team. Dave Free in the playoffs. God bless him.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, good stuff this week. Feel free to keep complaining about your rankings if you don't like it. Do some winning like Tony. Tony said, fuck you guys. My team's awesome, and you guys fucking suck. I fucking hate you. And he flipped it around. And we got to kiss his ass now. That's it.
He's fucking winning, and he's still complaining. He's turning into like Nick Saban, where he's ranked number 1. He's getting all the love, and then he's being like, "These guys are fucking snakes. Don't eat the rat poison." It's like, dude, we know you're good.
He's 2-0, and he's fucking still reading his guys the riot act in the locker room.
I know. He's like, these guys think you suck. They all think you suck. Nobody believes in us except for the guys in this room right here.
He tears up for a minute.
Yeah. He puts on that scene from Miracle when Herb Brooks gives the boys the speech before the Russia game.
Yeah.
It's like, you were born for this. You were born for this moment.
Like Dan Campbell in training camp. All I think about is you guys. You gotta believe me. All I think about is you.
And then his eyes start sweating. Yeah. It's not tears. It's just sweat from his eyes. All right. Fuck it.
All right. That was fun. All right. We'll see you next week, boys.
Yeah. Good luck.
Bye.